There we are. What's up, YouTube? So we've got a little green around here. Overall, the market is overall red, although not very red. 8 of the 10x sectors are red. 2 of them are green. Google is down 1.2. Apple is up 0.2 after getting smoked. Microsoft is red. Nvidia is red, although putting on a little bit of green. And doing the thing, baby. Doing the thing. So VIX is holding 1347. I'll be keeping a close eye on that. All the yields are up. The bonds are down as the bond continued to whipsaw around 88 and 90. The Fed funds rate again posted today neutral again. So they're still pricing in neutrality going into the summer months for now. So no hikes anticipated or cuts for that matter going into June. Very interesting. So a little 18-100 here, 10 coming up, defending this 0-0 level. Apple's going up. Nvidia is climbing as well. We have 100. We're going to see what we're going to do. 18097. Nvidia is 897.04. Got a little bit of green, a little bit of red. Overall, we'll see how this thing plays out. We've got liquidity up and down. The skew on ES is down at the moment. Is down. But with this much selling here in pre-market, I'd expect some sort of shift around, gather a lither bit upside, gather some inventory, and then reclaim. 18107 here on NASDAQ, still going up. Probably going to recapture a little bit higher level here. Let's take a look at ES. ES just filled this 5196 level. They've got 5191, 5190, 5187. All the way down here. So the skew right here is lower after filling that little order level. And then, of course, down to 5175, and then on down. 4960 is still on the tape, by the way. Very, very large level. In fact, building even more. Apple getting crushed. Look at that candle on Apple. Huge red candle to undo all of that. Interesting. Let's see what the market does with this opening green candle so far after Apple doing what that thing is doing. See what that nasty candle. All right. ES just came down to 5194. Man, Apple's really getting crushed still. 97. A little bit of downside here. I'm looking for 5190 on ES. If they could hold that after transacting 97, I'd be looking to grab this 90 right here and transacting through this stuff at the moment. Man, Apple got crushed. If Nvidia follows along with Apple, I'd expect more downside. More follow through. Let's take a look at Microsoft. There goes Nvidia, red candles. There goes Nvidia. Top wick. Pump and dump. I'm ready to shoot. Let's do it. 5194. NASDAQ is still hanging on right here, right at 18100. Red candles on Nvidia, red candles on Apple. Microsoft rolled all the way over and then putting on a small green. Dow's coming down as well. And there's another top wick. We'll see what we could do. Cannot break through 18100 so far. CVD is negative 2800 on NASDAQ, which is quite negative. And Nvidia is still rolling over red. Very boring action so far. Very boring. My June 28th SPY put is now 30% drawdown limit. Hang on a little longer. Discipline is like trust, takes a long time to build and only a moment to destroy. My discipline broke down yesterday, rebuilding. I love it. I love it. Rebuild, baby. Bring it back. Bring back the position sizing. Bring back the trading frequency. Deleted and download and updated Discord. There you go. Very boring open so far. What's up, Iron Will? Tony. Green coming up still. Climbing up. 18104. Negative CVD. ES right here. Still hanging on at 5100. Let's take a look at the options chain. We have 14%, 15% IV, very low. Premiums are chilling. Taking a look at the flow. Come on now, load. On down, red candles. There goes NVIDIA, 895. 5194. Man, look at NVIDIA. NASDAQ still holding up around 18100. Biding its time. Let's go take a look. GEX, SPX. Today, 5180 currently. NVIDIA just bottom with the entire red candle, dumping all the way back over, which that probably will refresh a touch higher there, 18103. ES hanging out 5186. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Very boring. Very boring. Let's take a look at the overall options flow here. See what we can get. Nothing. Nothing at the moment here. So, looking at this 15-minute, we have hammer candle forming at the moment. NASDAQ is climbing up nicely. They're at 18,113. Big green candle coming up, of course, as they're refreshing. The sellers had their chance at the open to flush it lower. They could not do that. And up we go. 18,114. Coming back up. NVIDIA, of course, no surprise there, is exploding into 903. Apple is rolling over in typical fashion of inversing NVIDIA, where Apple goes down, NVIDIA goes up. Just that inverse action over and over and over again. Still climbing. Exploding there. Dow's coming up. Russell is doing the same, although they're not nearly as strong. An 18,120. I've already redone half of that 6 a.m. move there. Beautiful stuff. NVIDIA is still going. And they've pretty much undone all of their pre-market selling right there on that one candle. Long NQ, nice juice box. Date and the latency on Rhythmic? No, I don't have it. I don't have any latency today. Yesterday I had a lot of it, but nothing today. Seems like all the moves are pre-market only lately. Yeah. Lower volatility, unfortunately, that is usually the case. You have repositioning for pre-market and then the day opens and we just back and forth chop. One trade, one profit. Nice, JJ. Keep it up. Keep it up. Rebuild it. Large green candle. NVIDIA is exploding through 904. And once again, typical fashion. Once NVIDIA breaks out 904, we'll see how high they can actually get if they continue that. Apple is down. Microsoft is top wicking all the way down. But keep a close eye on NVIDIA here. We'll get through the first half hour and we'll start throwing down. Let's take a look. Today is Wednesday. Crude oil at 10:30 and nothing else until 1 o'clock, 10-year note. So far, nothing but green on NASDAQ, going higher and higher and higher. 18,130. 18,130. Nothing but green. They're undoing all of the pre-market because it's low volume. Like I said, I didn't expect very much selling in terms of a big drawdown or anything like that. Just a little bit of profit taking, and of course, immediately NVIDIA squeezes, and the market bounces up 30 points or so, 40 points. Typical fashion. Let's see. 18,121. Just wait for this thing to top wick. Officially accepted the senior pastor position. Nice, pastor. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. I know that's been weighing on you a lot. 18117. Fed starting at 11. Yeah, we do have a diarrhea at the mouth with some Feds today. The past 2 days have been the lowest volume of the entire year, which, although I don't look too much into declining volume on the way up because it always happens on bullish trend. But when they go to extremes, whether it be high or low, that's what you have to pay attention to. And when you see the lowest volume like that, especially coming off of a high participation event, that's where you want to look for a little bit of weakness. What's up, gentlemen? Thank you. For your swing trades, do you use EMA crosses? No, I don't. The only thing I use for swing trades is VPA. A little bit of red here coming off. Good stuff. 111. When you said the market goes down or up aggressively and pre-market does the opposite of the open. Yeah. Especially in pre-market, because pre-market is, not as high volume as a normal market. Plus, when the market actually does open, the stocks and the indices together, you get the opposite flow to clear out the inventory. So we're already seeing that. We went from aggressive selling with not an ounce of buying for 3 hours, and then immediately it flips to all buying. Why is that? Why does that actually happen? And it's simply because they're have to undo that inventory. This is the opportunity to either buy the dip or simply close out positions for a profit. All the positions roll off the books for positioning. We saw Linda Raschke selling yesterday, so following our Linda Raschke rule, we anticipated either flat or a red action today. We get it. And that's simply because they're marking positions for the following session. That's what happens today. We sell, and now they adjust the positions for that outcome, and we get the big green here. So it's one of my favorite moves. I love it. I love getting the big aggressive pre-market moves one way because we can play the other side when the market opens. Learned why OM doesn't do biotech anymore. I got stomped out of a Pfizer call after bad news. Yep. I would not touch biotech for anything. That is pure casino. All right, so we just had a nice little move down into 112, but immediately bottom wicked again. So we're just kind of back to the same script here. Let's see how far we can get into this half hour before they start to make a decent move. Otherwise, they're just going to keep on going back up, most likely to 164 or so. For my call credit spread, I hope we stay down here. But either way, we could just defend. Oh, it wasn't more like Raschke buying, though. The whole power was green. Maybe I should wait the last few minutes. To me, it's how they mark the positions into close. If you look at the last 10 minutes, it was nothing but selling the last 10 minutes of the day. And in fact, on ES specifically, at 2:50 Central, 3:50 Eastern time, they dumped it from 52.20 all the way down to 52.11. So, about a 10-point move in the last 10 minutes. So to me, that's them marking off positions for the following session. That's the way I look at it. That's how do they close in the market. Apple's red. Whether it takes 30 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes, that's the way I approach it. Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it. That's okay. I like being underrated. I'd rather be underrated than overrated. 18124 hanging out right here. Still bottom wicking, still nothing but green. 18126 still climbing. going up even more. I'd be looking for approximately 150 or so. 127. NVIDIA is still squeezing up there. In fact, NVIDIA is almost about to break back to green. Apple's still going down, so the divergence of Apple and NVIDIA continues. Apple straight down, NVIDIA straight up, which is crazy to see one of the two biggest three names in the market inversing each other and having to play that on the indices. It's very weird behavior, but this is what we've been seeing since about March is when that began to happen. Yeah, I figured Meta was going to go green today. They had news. I think it was Turkey who is dropping the antitrust lawsuit against Meta, or some major country like that was dropping the lawsuit. So I'm no surprise that they're green. They're the only green name in the sea of red. Is Topstack X good? Don't know. Big green candle again, blasting higher. So far, NASDAQ is straight up. We are almost 100 points up right now. 18138. They've already done almost all of the overnight red. I'd be looking for 170. Still going. One four still going up there. 1.4 going into 1.50. I deleted Facebook from my phone and haven't missed it. Nice. Yeah. So Facebook's garbage. Garbage. 18145 going up to 150. Still going. Still straight up squeeze right now. They're squeezing all of the positions from overnight. That's what they're doing here. When you get, especially looking at the fact that we're in a minor uptrend right now, this is the opportunity they use. Any kind of red is simply used for buy the dip. And every single candle, whether it be from the 5-minute to the 15 to the hour, has been immediately bottom like the past 4 sessions. And this is no different. So I'd be looking for 165, 170. Climbing up here, nothing but green. NVIDIA, VIX is rolling all the way off as well. And still going. There's 142. As long as it holds, we have our first real test here at 145. I'd say 148 on NASDAQ. ES has their test here at 5202. And that'll be just a minor test, just from pre-market. And once we clear that, we could even look for 5206. Current GEX is 5180 for today's session rolled up. Well, I guess not for the overall session, but just for right now. And no, in fact, they just rolled it up to 5200. So we'll see. If they do bottom wick this thing and close it back up, if they undo all of the red, I'm swinging calls. This thing will explode into the end of the week. What is this? Performance bonus. What is that? That's not like OnlyFans or anything like that, is it? 5202. Interesting. 5203 still climbing. NASDAQ is exploding here as well. Just undid everything and going. So far, it's already about a 100-point bounce and going. And yeah, once ES just took over 5202, SPX is 5180. Coming back up another 20 points. We'll be hitting the 5200 GEX. NVIDIA, of course, just like every day, is exploding. Buy the dip every day on NVIDIA. And then we already took out the prior pivot, 5202. Yeah, NVIDIA exploding, baby. NVIDIA did just break back to green. So they just went from 893 to 910, a 20-point move. instantly. Right here. If they do, like I said, if they do bottom lick this thing and close this thing green up and around 52.15 on ES, time to swing calls because that just shows how aggressively strong and how aggressively strong the buyers are and how weak the sellers are. So it'll be a decision day. Nice falling. Well done. Got 50, 18, 153. Nvidia still going. What time is it? It is 9:50. Ever thought about doing OnlyFans? Heh. Nah, I ain't doing that crap. Nobody wants to see this. How you doing? How's your mother? How you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, it's twice now. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. That's unnecessary. 18,153. Are adding a little liquidity here down 18,118. One five two. Let's see what Nasdaq can do. 110 right there. Keep an eye on Nvidia. Only traders. Liquidity is right here at 1-1. You see them shifting this around, but that's pretty much it on the book right now. ES just filled their upwards liquidity here at 5,200. See this guy eating up right here, and then they've got 5191 here on the bottom. $5,200. Let's take a look at Nasdaq. Chilling. It's really all eyes on Nvidia today. Let's see if we can get some little momentum with them. ES already bottom wicked, went back to green. Apple's still down and staying down. VIX at 1327 here, but does anyone watch Top Step TV? No. That place is garbage. Huge bottom wick, Nasdaq going up, 18,150. All red is completely bottom wick now, still going. And look for flows up to about 18,200, 195. That's where I'll be looking for. BTD, baby. Let's go. So once we clear this area, that's when you start rolling stops in up above this candle. Once we clear out above 18,160, that's when you start rolling stops up into this area to play natural defense of the market. That's going to be your best bet. Keep your stops beyond liquidity. And right now, liquidity is right here, 152. We just had a massive bottom wicket to defend. And now you roll your stops up right inside there. And you keep yourself safe with natural defense of the market. There we go. Big green. Climbing up again. 16, 18, 160. Big target. Next target's going to be about 170 on Nasdaq. SPY is at R1 again. They've already undone the entire pre-market selling on SPY. Nasdaq is just about doing that. Once we clear let's call it 170 for ease. We'll be gunning for the 18,200. Call buying is now on the flow at the moment. And GEX is 5,200 shifting with a little bit more at 5,165. No, I agree, yeah. If they clear 5,200, it'll throw us into a gamma, and they'll attack 5,300 like it's nobody's business. So, another Boeing mishap, yeah. Yeah, with a collapsed nose gear. It's amazing Boeing stock is above 100 at this point. It's ridiculous. 18,160 holding right here. 163. This should bring us right into the 18,200 area. There it goes. Another explosion. Let's go through 170 and keep an eye on NVIDIA. Once they bottom, we can close green. Up we go. I never thought I would want Apple to continue to go down in order for the markets to go up. Like, red candles on Apple is now a bullish indicator. It's crazy. Are we thinking a hold with Boeing? I'm hesitant to buy anymore. It just keeps coming. No, I'm holding. I'm an institutional investor in terms of long term. Here's 177, still going. On NASDAQ. If NASDAQ clears 170, we're going to 200. There it goes. Large green engulfing flows, capturing everyone getting nice and short. They literally sat around yesterday morning and had their coffee. Like, hey, how are we going to make our money for Wednesday? They say, oh, I got a great idea. We've been going up for 4 days in a row. Let's give them a little bit of red, just sprinkle a little red there, just like when you put out some cracked corn for your turkeys so you could schwack them. Put out a little red corn, or a little corn for them, and then the shorts come in and start gobbling, and then boom, hammer it. Hammer it. I love it. Too much red in pre-market, baby. Too much red in pre-market. Must be a fun job. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. ES 155, 150. Let's see, we just went from 074, so that's officially 103 points, NASDAQ. How far out would your call swings be if you were to take them today? Not too far out. I'm not going to be too aggressive with them. You know, really, my overall thesis between now and November is just stay profitable. That's it. I'm not taking any extreme takes between now and then. I mean, we could go to all-time highs just as easy as we can go to 4,500 on SPX before November. So I always tell myself to be very careful around election years. I did it in 2016. I did it in 2020. I don't remember 2014 all that much. Or I'm sorry, 2012. Because that was like right in the initiation of my trading career. But 16, 2020, I'm always telling myself, be careful around election year, and I intend to do the same thing this year. So I wasn't talking about either one of those, man. Yeah, probably. I don't remember much about 1999. All right, little top wickeroni there, 18,160. Now this is, if you see the last pivot at 170, this is the first pivot off of them. So you see this top wick, this is that, because that little 170 up in the way to fill the imbalance to 193. Graduated college in 1999. Jeez Louise. I was in, let's see, 8th grade, 1999. I want to say, I think it was 8th grade. Yeah, I remember Y2K, yeah. My bad, John. My bad, John. Nothing but green so far in the 5-minute charts. Just roll your stops up. Still going. Here's holding over 170. That was a few years into my programming career in 1999. Jeez Louise. I love it. Dad bought a lot of Spam and canned goods. I have underwear older than that. Funny you say that. So after my grandfather passed, we went into his closet, and he had literally underwear that was sealed in the packaging with the receipts from the 40s and 50s. Like, dude had brand new underwear that was 70 years old. I was like, come on, Grandpa. I don't think you need this. All right, so here we go. Cleared out 170, and we're still going up. Nothing but green. Nothing but green. Just roll your stops up. In fact, if I were you, I would put your stop roughly 160 on NASDAQ and let it eat. Because this is straight up. All we're doing is absorbing supply and going higher. Absorbing supply, shifting up. There's no top wicks. There's no selling pressure. It's nothing but green. All we're doing is going from pivot to pivot. And now we're going for the imbalance fill at 193 on NASDAQ. Just roll your stops up. They're clearing out the entire inventory here. Is it worth anything? No. No, he wasn't a prepper. He was extremely cheap. Extremely cheap. I guess coming from the Depression, you got to. He lived through Depression in the World War II, so can't blame him. All right, there is 10 o'clock, so let's see how they adjust the 10 o'clock move here into the 170 pivot. 163. One 162, 16. Tesla's big red. Keep an eye on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is still bottom wicking everything at 908. Apple's coming up as well. Still dojied out. Do I like living in Alaska? I do. I love it. Although it's hard to walk to my Wendy's job in Alaska. It's a little cold sometimes. 163. NVIDIA's coming off again. We have liquidity at 5202 right here. Oh, man. Love it, love it, love it. Let's go take a look at how this bottom wick looks on the daily. Massive bottom wick back up. We went from 1807 back up here. So like I said, if we recapture the candle green, I'll be looking along up into the 18300 area on NASDAQ, and approximately I'll look for an attack on about 5230 on ES, which is not that crazy of a move, but like I said, I'm not being too aggressive going into November. I'm going to look for small chunks and try not to get too hung up on any kind of bias until then. I don't expect to see any kind of major selling up until the election unless something drastically shifts with monetary policy, which, because we already know the Fed and politics are not independent, that is most likely not the case. So I'd expect still to maintain monetary policy going into November, which most likely will result in a grindy / green sessions into November. NVIDIA wants to rip. Buddy. Yeah, buddy. Another bottom wick NASDAQ coming back up. No stops should have been tripped yet if you are long NASDAQ. There's not a single candle since the opening 930 candle that should have stopped out any longs. Every single candle has bottom wick beyond liquidity. Still waiting on your election prediction. I've already given you my election prediction. I don't think Trump or Biden will be president. I think they'll kill Trump before they allow. If it looks like Trump's going to be elected, I think they'll kill him before. I don't think Biden will be reelected. I know the Democrats will think that they'll know that's party suicide. So it'll probably be Kamala or somebody else we don't see coming. my opinion. $718,170. Do you think they'll kill him? I do. I do. I mean, look what they did in 2020. I think they'll do something drastic again in 2024. It just won't be. It won't be. It won't be obvious. Obviously, it'll be like a heart attack or something like that, or um, some sort of illness or something. Poison. He works for Boeing. Yeah. Trump's got all the secrets on Boeing. That's just my personal opinion, though. Take it for what it is. I am not for or against presidents. I think they're all atrocious. So don't get mad at me. I don't buy into the Democrat versus Republican crap. 18,172. Still holding right here at 170 NASDAQ. Still bottom wicking, nothing but green. At this point, I think 18,200 is all but locked in here. NVIDIA new high of the day. Drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah. Still going. Am I a libertarian? I guess you could call it that. Yeah. Do I ever think we'll get a third-party win? Eventually, maybe. Not anytime soon. Nice little recovery. Don't even know how to read. Librarian. Apple is getting smoked. Yeah, they're getting destroyed. And the markets don't even care. It's a new age. Amazon is down 1% as well. They're not feeling a lot of love. Google's down. LLY is down after a run. Microsoft is got a little red here. One sec, 164. Itty bitty amount of red. One 6.3. CVD is negative. NVIDIA is putting on a small top wick. And still, no longs have been stopped out yet. Right now, any stops, in my opinion, should be beyond 160 into the 155 to 157 realm if you are long NASDAQ. If it takes out that, then I would look to be getting out of any kind of longs or stop out. Apple's getting smoked. 164. NVIDIA is putting on a small red finally. Let's see if they'll bottom wick it or is this going to continue to go. 165 CBD is red here. ES is 5200. They do have liquidity at 5190. For ES, I would say beyond 5200. I would place my stop about 52 or 5199 or 98 if you're long ES. I'd probably say more likely to 5198. 5199 might be a little too close to liquidity. Apple still going lower. NVIDIA did not bottom wick that red, but let's see what the follow-on candle does. That might give us a little bit of reprieve. $52.02. Coming off NVIDIA. What about for the candidate most likely aligns with my biblical worldviews? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Alrighty, so we are coming up close to the stop level. Let's see what happens. It's only 5 more points away on NASDAQ. Let's see what it can do. Does that make sense? If any of this doesn't make sense, let me know and I'll explain it. But I'm assuming if you're not asking questions, I assume you understand what we're talking about over here. The gabagoo. U.S. stock index this morning are being pressured by higher T-note yields and some negative corporate. Oh, look at a big green. Negative corporate news. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well, go back even further, Kit. Go back even further. When I read your name, Kit, it reminds me of that girl in what's that movie with Tom Hanks and Gina Davis? The baseball movie. League of Their Own. Her name was Kit. Yeah, if you look on NASDAQ, right here, the prior pivots are about 160. If you go back and look at pre-market and going into right now, it's about 160. So knowing that that is most likely the start of liquidity and a stop loss area where people are going to place their stops, I want to set my stops beyond the anticipated liquidity. I want to put it in 157, 156, somewhere in that area where let the market breathe and chop and do its thing, but I don't want to get out of a long if this has the possibility to run 18,200 where the imbalance is 193. So let's call it 18,200. So if this thing runs up to 18,200, I don't want to cut myself short another 30, 40 points. So I would rather risk giving back a little bit of my points, setting my stop beyond liquidity, rather than go ahead and cut my legs out from under me and this thing goes to 200. So that's my train of thought. You say, kid, I have to think about the car. Oh yeah. Top wick. Now that top wick right there should clear out stops. If I had to guess, this should clear out that stop level based on that move right there. There you go. And that will clear it out 152. Beautiful stuff. Excellent. All according to plan. Everybody survived the storms this evening in the morning. Bad storms rolled through. Red candles. I see that Joe Rogan interviewed Tucker Carlson. I'm interested to see what that's about. I listened to the entire podcast of that Brett Sibrel last week, 2 weeks ago. He posted it, of the guy that was a moon landing naysayer. I did not care for it. $5,200 red on down to 51.91. Liquidity here is shifted down to 51.91. But that did clear out the stops. So though now they have to shift it beyond that liquidity to find the next supply, or demand, I'm sorry. The next demand. At what point do you take short? In the past, I would have taken a short here after 2 red candles. Most of the time, I would immediately reverse and rock it up. I would already be short on this red here if I didn't already had managed a position. So I don't like to go long to short instantly. That's just my personal preference. I don't like to do it. I guess occasionally I might do it, but I like to take a little bit more time. So this red candle, if this were to close red, I would consider some move down. But yeah. Again, I would like to confirm on the 5 and 15 candles. Overall, if NASDAQ were to give out 18,146, I could see them starting to retrace this. But honestly, I don't like to short when NVIDIA was doing NVIDIA stuff. If NVIDIA starts feeling some pressure, I might join in on some reindeer fun here. But other than that, no. So, what's my moon landing opinion? I don't know. honestly, I don't believe a word the government says about anything. They've lied about every single major event in history. So who do I don't know. NASA controls all the data and all the images. So it could be true. I could see it's plausible that they lied, made it up, but it's also, I don't know. Who knows? You know, I'm not really going to worry about it. It doesn't affect my life at all. It's interesting to talk about, But that guy, yeah, he plugged his website every 5 minutes, and all he did was repeat himself. So, whatever. Is there a good way to tell when the long upper bottom wicks are liquidity sweeps versus when they might indicate a reversal? Yeah, so liquidity sweeps for me usually happen at specific areas. So when I'm looking for a sweep, usually it's at a support, it's at a supply, it's at a demand, where they make a big move beyond stops, and then they go back the other way. Now, Bookmap does help me do that kind of stuff. But remember yesterday, I don't know if you were on the stream yesterday, right before I signed off, the market put in a little top. And that I was kind of explaining how sweeps work. And I wanted to give that's kind of how I rolled it out. I think it was roughly, I don't remember when it was. I forget. I have to go back and look at the timestamps. But that I want to let them, usually when we're coming to a resistance, if I see like a big green and then a top wick, those are type of moves where I look for more sweeps. Whereas a reversal candles usually happen in conjunction with the sweeps. So you get usually the sweep, and then it bounces back up or sells back off into that, and then reclaims the level, bounces, and then we get the big reversal, the double tap. I'm inclined to believe the government's lying, but that conspiracy seems too sensational to be true. Yeah. I'm with you. Oh, the JFK assassination. Don't get me started. Magic bullets BS. 5,200 on ES. Let's go take a look at the options data. Put selling, call selling today. IV is quite low. And I just need my premiums to roll off, baby. Otherwise, I'm closing out my short calls and riding my long calls. Oh, you're definitely welcome, G Wheat. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your questions you got. I prefer the no bullet theory. His head just did that. While he was like mosh pitting, listening to some corn. ES at 5205. All right. So basically, this move is all but filled the imbalance. 18,191 Nasdaq. ES has about 5212. That's where it looks like we're going to head to. Gonna get the server shut down. Apologize. I'm a little feisty today. What kind of chart is this? This is Bookmap. This is a live liquidity tracker, similarly visually represented by level 2 data, along with some proprietary indicators. There's some gnarly clouds in the sky this morning. Like 7 o'clock in the morning. No plays for me currently. Yesterday, the market was quite choppy. Terrible price action, except that little 30-minute time block between 1:30 and 2 o'clock. That was beautiful. Everything else was just disgusting. Terrible price action. Back and forth, grid green. With IV this low, with VIX not really moving, I can't imagine anything more up until the 10-year note. Proprietary, yeah. You're welcome, Bish. 5205. NASDAQ is 18190. Oil and 10. And my CL traders out there, got some CL trading. New high NASDAQ, 180, and bringing us up to 19. This will be the imbalance fill. Curious to see what they do after the imbalance. All right. I alienated everybody already. Pretty early in the morning to be talking conspiracies. Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you supporting the community. Hanging out in the chat, asking great questions. Thank you very much. Where would the imbalance fill out on NASDAQ? 5212 would put us right smack dab on it. If you look at that high, 5212.50, that would be exactly on the imbalance. NASDAQ has already cleared 185. Their imbalance is coming up at 192 and still going, reclaiming everything, going up into the pre-market chop. Beautiful stuff. Unfortunately, they already got me out, so I'm watching. I'm twiddling my thumbs. Twiddling my thumbs. Japan intervened in the market twice last week. We saw that on the price action. Still going. A Boeing 767 cargo in Turkey crashed after its landing gear failed. Do I trade currencies at all? Negative. I mean, technically, yeah, when I go buy me a sandwich, I give them currency and they give me a sandwich. So I trade currency for sandwiches. But in the markets, no, I don't. Sandwiches are your currency. Oh, yeah. Gabagoo sandwiches. If that was any other company, they'll ground all their aircraft. Yep. They're probably not doing that, though, because they know they can't survive that. If they ground aircraft again, I think their stock would be under 100, and I would start to palpitate over here. I would have to close all my holdings, which I definitely don't want to do. My bullish thesis on Boeing does not bring in massive maintenance issues and design issues on aircraft. It just doesn't account for that. It accounts for it being embedded with the federal government. 18,200, there is imbalance on NASDAQ still going, and we are now up 140 points on NASDAQ and about to break green. By that thinking, Tesla should be at 0. Yeah, the thing about Tesla, man, is that Tesla, they're constantly hit with software issues by the news. And there's a big spotlight on them, obviously, because of Elon. And then, of course, more recently, there's starting to become more and more hardware-related issues. But with Boeing, people aren't afraid to get in a Tesla. They're afraid to get on a Boeing aircraft. You get at 30,000 feet, and you don't know if the door's going to blow open or if it's going to spontaneously combust. You're saying the only reason you're bullish is because they're too big to fail? I suppose if you were to reduce it down that much, yeah, you could say that. It's not necessarily because they're too big. It's because why are they too big? They are embedded with the government. Not to mention that I've been a part of the military-industrial complex for over a third of my life now. And not to mention I've had my hands on the buttons for Boeing products, so to speak, and I know how deep how deep down the rabbit hole that goes. Everything is Boeing. Everything, aircraft, munitions, defense systems, software. It's just everything. And until that military complex comes to a screeching halt, I think Boeing has a safe place. 18198. To some degree, not to the extent of Lockheed or anything, but yeah. In the Zoom call, is it possible to discuss imbalances and liquidity sweeps? Yeah, definitely. If you wouldn't mind, throw that in the Zoom call channel so I can make note of it. Man, this thing is still freaking going 200 after putting on 18160 now. So you feel 200, they got 18160 right now. Yeah, me too. Tell me about it falling. Straight up move so far. One small little pullback. And still up. 18202. Definitely Vish. Let me get that for you. Let's see. Bookmap. Copy. There you go. Here's the link right here. Depending on which plan you take, it should get you some decent money off. Nice red candles. A rejection of 200 NASDAQ. If you were to ES long, what would be my target? 5212. 5212 right here. They just put on liquidity at 160, which is not that big of a deal. That's only a pullback to the prior rejection if we were to do that. But it's still there. 5212. Nvidia is still squeezing. You're welcome. Only two companies in the big passenger space, Boeing and Airbus. Yeah. Yep. Yesterday, ES had a huge order on Bookmap at the bottom of the screen and not many up. I thought it was going to bounce and it got up and went through it and stopped out and confused me. Well, for me, the liquidity being there is not enough. I need to see managed liquidity. Otherwise, you can get spoofed a lot. Man, look at this. It's still freaking going. Good gosh. Yeah, they're going to squeeze this thing if this keeps going. It's going to get out of control. Nvidia is going up again, 0.58. Meta is 1%. Let's see right to, let's say 217. Overnight range is about 217. We're going on an hour now of straight buying. And I'm sitting there freaking watching it. It drives me nuts. It aggravates the crap out of me when this stuff happens. Got a few facilities here in MTL. Let's see, 210. Euphoria market, man. Euphoria market. And balance right there at 191, going up to pre-market of 217. ES is at 5209, almost to the imbalance there themselves. VIX is 1319. There we go. SPX clear 5198. We're testing high day. Yep. Well, I thought I was going to have some breathing room on my call credit spread, but that quickly proved to be false. And if this recaptures this, I will close out the short leg. I'll just be done with it. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight this type of momentum. It causes way too much frustration. And that'll probably be the last time I post a call credit spread in a long time. Ridiculous. I like calendars better. Ridiculous. I got long and after short on pre-market only take profits because my prop account passed the eval. Yeah. $15 on VPA is up on NVIDIA. Yep. What made you choose to long NASDAQ today than any other index? NVIDIA. The market is NVIDIA right now. NVIDIA is so strong that Apple can get smoked day after day after day, and the market still skyrockets. It's taboo. NVIDIA right now is up at 900, which is, I think in the most conservative terminologies is ridiculous. So it's because they're right now they're inflating they're inflating NVIDIA because that right now is a safe trade. Spike NVIDIA. It's what they did to Tesla in 2021. So with NVIDIA rocketing, I want to be a part of that. ES has a little bit more. In fact, right now, most of the S&P is red at the moment. So for me, I want to trade the easy stuff, which right now is NASDAQ with it flowing like this. Plus with NVIDIA going, Microsoft is now fully recovered. So I'm trading that to the upside. And when NVIDIA starts to roll or starts to fly like that, NASDAQ does the same thing. I mean, NASDAQ's up 150 points right now and no pullback. So I was able to catch a good chunk of it, but unfortunately I got stopped out in the 160 area, 155, and I had to sit there and watch this the rest of the way, which is aggravating. $18,210. Wow. Straight up. Right back inside pre-market and yesterday's range. Time to start swinging calls, it looks like soon. Yeah, if we close today with the bottom wick, I'll be looking to swing. This will be a good liquidity sweep to shift higher. Or instead of swinging, what I might do is just close out my short call and just leave on the long call and use that as my swing. Let that baby eat. And NVIDIA has earnings comes up on 522, looking for the 1,000 price. First time I'm able to listen live in 3 weeks. What's up, Abolished? Miss you too, buddy. What you been up to? Wouldn't 216 be a good short based off pre-market rejection multiple times? Yeah. So that would also put us just a couple of points beyond the liquidity. I'm sorry, not liquidity, imbalance. So that would be a decent spot to see some, but I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to short that. Trabajo, nice. Good morning, Captain. Haven't taken a single trade yet. That's all right, Maddie. That's fine. I'm done for the trade. Closed all positions. Nice, Bish. If the market was at all-time highs, inflation was down, and everyone had a good job, would still people not want to vote for Biden? I will pass that question. Pass. Like a game show, because that's what politics are. I'm going to try more future swing trades going forward. I think it's easier than using options. Have you considered using futures instead of buying calls? If so, what would you come up with? I do a blend. I usually like to swing futures when I intend to trade it for a while, although I haven't swung futures. The last time I swung futures was, what, 3-4 weeks ago? So yeah, I tried to pick with what I'm good at historically, and that's I do very well with swinging options. Typically, I think it's because of my risk management. I don't like taking a lot of risk, and most people like to use options for very, very risky stuff. So I do very well with it, and I don't mind doing some futures. Usually when I start throwing down on futures, it's to defend a position to swing it. But yeah, whatever works. Do you have a link for your podcast? I do have a link for my podcast. The Making Millionaires podcast on Spotify, which, by the way, we have a new episode coming out this week, as well as a new YouTube video. Try to get all the stuff out at least once every 2 weeks and then move it up to once a week. I'm learning Adobe Premiere Pro. I've been using Adobe Rush, which is like kids software. So I'm learning Adobe Premiere Pro, and that should help the production value of stuff. There you go. Hey, there you go, Maddie. Just posted in the chat. If it ain't broke. Learning curve is steep, but once you get good at it, you can do a ton. After Effects is great too. Definitely. My only issue is it screws up selling premium because I can only sell in the direction of my swing since I would be left in a place where I can't defend zero, so trying to balance it with hopes of swinging. Yeah. Definitely. Where I really like to put on swings on futures is when we are near a major macro pivot, and I could put them on and hold them for weeks and weeks because I don't even have to worry about theta or Greeks or expirations or any of that. Obviously, I'll have to worry about the quarterly expiration, but that's it. So if I can get a good entry and hold it for a couple of 100 points and just take my hands off, I just forget about it. As long as we hold above my strike, whatever. That's the way I prefer to do futures because I want to use it for the benefit that it offers, which is no Greek value. Try Da Vinci Resolved, much more stable in my opinion, far better. I'll take a look. Thank you, Maddie. Appreciate you. Do I ever use the opening range 3-minute versus 5-minute breakout strategies at market open? The only strategy I use at market open, the first 30 minutes, is what I call momentum. And I guess whatever you can, whatever technical definition, I may be wrong on that. But I use momentum. So whatever the market is doing is what I want to do. Not to mention, y'all know my strategy for pre-market. I gauge my opening trades based on what the pre-market is doing. If I get a crap ton of selling, I'm looking to go long. If I get a crap ton of buying, I'm looking to go short in the first half hour. And then, of course, I tie that into market awareness, which 60% of that market awareness is freaking NVIDIA. The trading that I'm seeing across the market is way different from what I saw pre-2020. Seeing one mega cap name run the show is a little weird. And we've seen it twice now. We've seen it with Tesla, and we've seen it with NVIDIA. So being able, on the flip side of things, to be able to follow one name to give that much emphasis is really cool because it can give you a good entry point pretty easily. Trade RTY, yeah. You do that too. I saw what you said yesterday. It's definitely something on my radar. Still going up. No trades currently on the books for me. I'm seeing how they deal with this upper imbalance fill. NASDAQ has put on a colossal move here. It's gone from 1807 to 18212 to the tune of 140 points. You're welcome. Time's 10:30, 10:40. Little thunder. So back and forth around here, 200. Let's see what happens the rest of the day. So kind of what we were talking about yesterday in terms of the VIX and volatility in general. Not necessarily interchangeable, but VIX is now down into the 13s, and it's still pinning there. We've just seen examples of it popping up to the 14 barely, not even quite 1350, and then rolling it back over. And that's going to be something you've done frequently. Now, my question is, what are their intentions with the VIX? Because the VIX is now pinned back down to 13. I don't think the VIX will go very much lower at all, maybe upper 12s, but that'll be about it. And then what you're going to see here, if this does in fact turn into a grind up or grindy summer session, you're going to see the VIX, fluctuate from upper 12s into mid 14s, maybe it touched into lower 15s, and then back down over and over and over again. But the inverse nature on the short time frame is no longer going to be valid as we're pinned down here. So it's the macro stuff. If you look on the 30-minute chart, for example, and you see multiple 30-minute green candles, then you could anticipate some red action possibly on the charts, and then vice versa on the green. But that's the nature of this vol trade here. They crushed volatility so freaking quick that we are now back into this same crap we had in February and March, where we just grind. So keep an eye on the VIX on any kind of movement that finally does break on the 30-minute. So you mentioned that you prefer calendars. Do you have any examples of how you would execute that? If you look in the trades chart, I've got some examples on how I executed a calendar 3 weeks ago. So what I prefer to do is put on a long position in the direction of my thesis, and then use writing premium on the other side of things, just to kind of collect. New high of the day for NASDAQ. And a strong trend up day so far. Strong trend up. Going. Launching. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Nope, didn't close it. It's all but worthless. Once volatility rolled off, once IV rolled off, the position got crushed instantly. So there was nothing left of it instantly. 18218 going. Still climbing, blasting up here, and this is going to all right. Let's see. Still going. Nice action. Yeah, it's straight up for an hour and 15 minutes. Should be a breeze after MK Ultra. Right here. Don't say that. Come on now. I hate when people say easy trading. Let's see here. Trades. I think they're going to try and retest 5200. It's very passive aggressive. It's very arrogant to say stuff like that. I just don't like it. Let's see here. 18217. What is the Rasky rule? Rasky rule is how we close out the power hour until the end of the day. And it's marking the positions for the following session. So when I see big red or big green into the power hour bell, that's where I want to look for a move into the following session. So a lot of red into power hour, into the closing session, marks red for the following session, vice versa. Let's see, mid to 200. What time is it here? 10:45, so we got about 15 minutes. 18219. All right. 18219. Right here, we are just chilling 18219. So right now that they've cleared out, what candle is that? The pre-market opening, the settlement close yesterday is where we're at right now, which is about 219. But there's no selling in the market whatsoever. Nvidia is holding 908 just yet. I don't know exactly where their supply is, but it looks like they haven't hit it yet, obviously. And we're just coming back up. And we're just coming back up. Still going. Wouldn't be a reason for the group. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to hate on them. Or anybody for that matter. Why is it that I'm good at playing the downside? I took 5 trades all day. All NASDAQ shorts, 4 of them are winners, but I struggled to go long. Bring back bullying. It really depends. In my opinion, this market, I want to say this. I want to say before I feed chum to the sharks here. The past couple of months, when the market sells off, from a structural standpoint, it does what it's supposed to do. It sells off like 1%, bounces back up, sells off again, it bounces back up, sells off again, and legs down like it's supposed to. The bull moves don't do that. They go up and don't stop going up for 3-4 days. So it's hard to really start buying the tops because you sit there like, oh, this looks like a top, and it just keeps on going. So it's a little bit different. Even in a normal bull market that I'm used to, it goes in cycles. You know, you long, you wait a couple of weeks, and then it pulls back, and you get a long couple of weeks and pulls back. But it's just like this, for example. It's just we're going on an hour and a half now of just straight up, and like where does it stop? It's already cleared out every major resistance. It's already cleared out all imbalance, all supply. So I feel you. Now in terms of actually getting long, that shouldn't be an issue. Like once you see that confirmed bottom wick on the 15, and you see Nvidia screaming, start to look long. Now in terms of longing, this up here at the top, I don't know where it's going to stop. So I'm not sure at which point you're asking when to go long there, but yeah, I mean, where is this going to stop? I don't know. So just keep on looking for the momentum there in the pivots, but yeah. Exceptional, still going 2, 3, 4, popping back in there. Wow. Going blast off 239, still going there. And now we're driving. I popped into another long on this one, NASDAQ, second play of the day. Because this is just getting silly. Yep. One second. One second. Just doing a quick write-up here for my trade. All right. If you want to reverse it, let me know and I'll go long. Don't do that. Don't do that. Alrighty. The top wick with high volume, the daily feedback can be considered a high volume test would be suggested to move back higher. Let me take a look. The top wick with high volume on the daily a few days back can be considered a high volume. You talking about on May 1st? Yes. So if you look at that daily chart right there, that was FOMC day. So we had a very, very green move up into 17,792, and then they smashed it all the way back over. Like it was like 400 points up and 400 points down is insane. And then we promptly bottom wick and reclaimed. But if you zoom in a little bit and go to the 2-hour and 4-hour charts, you see it a little bit more clear, a little bit clearer. Is it more clear or clearer? A little bit clearer. I'm not a languager. So, let me get to May 1st here. What happens is that if you look on the 4-hour chart, the bottom wick on May 2nd at 10 o'clock, which was the 4-hour candle that initiates at 10 o'clock, that clears out all of that lower demand and then bottom wicks. And that bottom wick there was the indication that we finally absorbed and ready to go up. So defending the FOMC area shows extreme sentiment. And that's what happened there on May 2nd, is that huge level bottom wicked and went back up. So it's very spooky looking on the daily chart because it looks like VPA failed. But zooming in to the 4-hour chart sees that bottom wick clear. It tipped us off to the fact that they were defending that 17,390-400 level on NASDAQ and then cleared upwards higher. And then once we cleared the FOMC candle on May 3rd, off to the races. Less unclear. Could we hit new highs this week on SPY? Let's take a look on SPY. Let me get to my daily chart. New highs would be 524. That would put us 7 points higher, 6.5. Absolutely, we could. That's not that big of a move, considering we've been straight up for 5 days now. Yeah, absolutely, we could. The GEX doesn't necessarily point to that. However, the GEX has been wrong every day this week. It's substantially lower every day this week. And that's the reason why. I think we're so substantially lower that it's no longer relevant this week. If we clear 5,200, nobody would be short. Yep. So what Agnostic is talking about here is that we have a main wall at 5,200 at which dealers need to protect. If that 5,200 gives out, we're going to gamma squeeze, which means the dealers are going to have to position themselves to longing the underlying in order to protect their positions, and then off we go. It's going to cause a gamma squeeze, which is different in structure from a short squeeze. Gamma squeezes are for the options, short squeeze are for the stocks, but same concept, different way in the way they actually operate. So if we do clear 5,200 SPX, this could go into ludicrous mode, and then maybe even go plaid. Get long, baby. Let's see who gets that movie reference. Grammarly is a wonderful thing. I was told GameStop was a gamma move. Probably. Yeah. Thousand NVIDIA, here we come. So my thesis was that if we did tap NVIDIA, that it would reject it aggressively because that's one of those psychological levels. A historical first-time 1,000 touch, and we would just wipe it down. We kind of got close to it back in March when they rejected 980. I'll be curious to see how they do it this time, going up. I bet NVIDIA does a stock split on earnings. It'll blast even higher. You're probably right. You know, if NVIDIA wants to play towards the retail market, investing market, which I'm sure they have an eye on, it would be in their best interest to do a split. It would behoove them to split. I don't know if it's clear or much clearer, but I can use the word behoove. Arguably incorrect. $18,224. $18,224 down to 220. Five minutes garbage. So, this is, by the way, yesterday morning's high. 18,236 is yesterday morning's high. We just tapped it. It's still on my chart from yesterday. And it gave a little bit of red. NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA, they haven't moved since their initial move there at 945. They've been flat, hanging out at the highs. Great tip on going long with a 15-minute bottom wick. Going to start looking for those entries. Yeah, they're beautiful. Spaceball is nice. Yeah, the 15 minutes a fantastic entry. The 49.60 PDS that I have is within a couple of dollars of the cost of the debit. If I just let it expire on Friday, my loss is capped at the original cost of the spread, correct? That's correct. 18,214. All right, 18,217. Sorry, just getting a few things set up here. Day 3 note trades, working on my discipline. I'm about to head into a Zoom meeting. Good luck, everyone. See you in the morning. I'd like to thank you now for your kind words and advice. I feel like my trading plan has improved vastly. I love it. Well done, Pastor. And congratulations on the new position. I'm sure that's a huge weight off your shoulders. Have a good rest of the day. Would it behoove me to close out my June 28th? What is that? What strike is it? 5,000 strikes. If you're not going to close them out, then use them as leverage for other products. I wouldn't do nothing. I definitely would not sit there and do nothing. I would either long calls against it, short puts against it, do something. Just don't do nothing. All right, I am going to sign off right here real quick and begin the bookmap stream for Wednesday. Today we're doing that at 11. 12 Eastern. So bear with me 1 second. I'll get the links posted when I'm re-up. Bear with me.